blocking all but 4 roaches from entering the fight, and even getting a queen down. That is huge. But it looks like he may be in a little trouble. He should cut off these roaches. What are you doing? Couple of force fields right there would be very helpful. And looks like he's not going to be able to do any more because they're so low. And that's actually going to put him in a little bit of trouble here. They are... whoa, he's actually, the Protoss player is now falling behind in food count, and that's going to be a little disastrous if the Zerg player decides to push in right now, as he's up 20 food count at a very tough spot for the Protoss player to defend. And very nice, force fielding his own ramp to try to make sure that no roaches come in, and an interesting set of force fields over here, going to be mildly useful. I'd actually say that overall it was a generally useful force field, although these pylons being the most useful thing over here, an AI pylon as I'd call them, a kickback to Starcraft 1, and nice cannon placement is actually going to be able to keep this this base protected for a lot longer than it would have been otherwise. And oh, there are the Immortals coming out. Look how fast they take out roaches. Oh, that's disgusting. And now he's going to be perfectly fine thanks to those Immortals. So it looks like he's going to be able to catch back up and even come out ahead now in the food count race. But it looks like the Zerg player is not content with where he's at in this point and putting down a 4th hatchery. And potentially, oh no, that's an Overlord, maybe even a 5th. But it looks like for now he's going to stick on 4 bases. We are seeing double Immortal production from these double robotics facilities as Hydras are coming in for the tech switch. Nicely done, but that is going to be scouted. As you can see by OminouS, he can see with these beautifully placed pylons, the pathing, and my dogs are barking, I know, but what am I going to do? He's going to be able to see the pathing of the Hydra is going to be perfectly prepared, and I'd love to see charge coming out on these Hydras, and he is getting charged for these Zealots, because that would definitely make it a lot more difficult for the Hydras to run away. And oh, a couple of them getting caught on the map artifacts. That's unfortunate, but it looks like he'll be able to get away with the majority of them. Now, one thing that the Zerg player is not doing, which is very disappointing, he's on par on top of these larva spawns for sure. As you can see, all of his queens are relatively low in energy, even mid-game. But where is the creep tumor? All of these bases should be basically connected by creep, making it so that his units can reinforce a lot faster, as obviously Zerg units move a lot faster on creep. And now he's going to have a tough time holding off this heavy Zealot and Immortal rush with 6 Immortals and a lot of Zealots. Looks like they don't quite have charge yet, but they are going to be able to basically just absorb a lot of hits. Nice flank from behind, though, and now the Protoss player is officially in trouble. This is going to be really hard for him to hold off and pull through on, but he's going to get quite a few kills on these roaches, but he's got to watch out for the counterattack, as we can see. Well, he's fairly even in food count, so he's not in too much of trouble. But basically, if the Zerg player had creep, he'd be able to continue to reinforce that even easier. It looks like the Zerg player thinks, or at least feels like, his Protoss opponent is weak and that he'll be able to do a lot of damage. But we have Colossus out on the field now, being made from both robotics facilities, so that's going to be a really good thing for the Protoss player, obviously, to help defend against any units coming in. As here come the roaches, and oh, trying to micro them as best they can, but it looks like, oh, charge is done. That's going to split up the units over here very effectively, and man, those roaches have such horrible range compared to these Colossi that they're going to be taken out really quickly, actually. Look at that. And the Colossus are going to survive for another day on top of it all. So very nicely done, very nicely defended by the Protoss player, OminouS. And I got to say, fairly impressive, because that could have been bad. But he had the right units coming out at the right time against the right units that he was going up against. Basically saying he had the right unit composition going on. Let's check out this Chrono Boost. Very nice. Keeping his energies very low on both mech side. That is very important. Obviously, the further in the game you go, you see a lot of Protoss players dropping off with that. And where are the creep tumors? Come on, Zerg player. FDWDHF. WTF. WTH, man. OMG. WFTDWHF. Anyway, it looks like he's got a pretty good saturation on his bases. I do like the income we're seeing here, and he's very far ahead by about 700 to 800 per minute is basically how that's calculated. However, OminouS is going out on the move with an army of food count of 150 against 132. The Zerg player does have some speedlings. That is not what you want going up against Colossi and Zealots. My God, that is the worst combination you could possibly have. Watch them melt. Oh my goodness, they are all on fire. They are all immolated, and that's just bad if you're the Zerg player. It looks like the Zerg player probably not going to be able to keep this high yield. Although the game's not over, he is in danger of basically the critical mass of Colossi, as we see He is not making any more. Never mind. So he's not making any more, but still 4 is a very dangerous number. It looks like he loses that base in full. And now with just Hydra Roach, he may not be able to come out ahead on this battle, especially with well, now he's taking out a lot of the Zealots. He may be able to do it. It's going to be close, actually. If all the Hydras go down, this is going to be bad. It looks like they're focusing down on the Colossi, obviously. Some micro going on to try to make use of the extended lance range. And, oh my goodness, this becomes a close battle. The Zerg player just barely cleans that up. Go to the units lost tab. You can see that the Protoss player, though he lost all those Colossi, is still very much ahead in terms of minerals expended towards the units that he just lost. He's got a couple of new Colossi out on the field. He's definitely going to need some more, but he's getting low on the minerals. He is mined out at his main. He's just got the space going up right now, and the whole crux of this game is going to rely on the fact of he's going to need to basically keep this base up and running. Otherwise, he will fall behind to the Zerg player, who still is mining out of all 3 bases, as he obviously had a slightly lower saturation at his main. However, you can see that he is about to mine out at the main base, and so the Zerg player getting up another high yield, essentially taking the Protoss player's high yield, and not able to get this high yield back up. Looks like the drone was taking out a lot of sentries over here. Wow, that's a lot of sentries. This is a really gas-heavy army, actually, and I'm curious to see how well it's going to work out. I mean, I'd like to see even a few more Zealots with charge, but I think this is going to work pretty well. Now, you can see that the Zerg player at this point has not transitioned to infestors. He is still only with roaches and hydras, and this is why Colossus rip up so badly. With the range of 9 against a roach range of what, 3, and a hydra range upgraded of what, 6 or 7? What is it? Let's see if I can click on one. 5. Oh, he's not even got the range upgrade. That means that these Colossi are going to be super effective, especially with force field. Look at this. They're going to be able to basically just attack from across the planet and do as much damage as they want. And oh, beautiful job over here backing off, and I knew he was going to put those force fields up. No, I haven't seen this game, but he was backing off, going to use that choke to his advantage. Nicely done. The Hydras can't even attack. They're out of range, trying to run away. That worked out really well for the Protoss player. Back to the units lost tab, and now you can see that the Protoss player, obviously what the unit lost tab actually tells you is the effectiveness of a unit composition versus another unit composition, an opposing unit composition, you might say. And we can see that the unit composition of the Protoss player with the upgraded Colossus, meaning that they have the thermal lance upgrade specifically, is very effective against roaches with no range upgrade possible and no upgraded range on the Hydra at all, although they can get up to 6 range. Still, with 9 range and force fields from these sentries, you can see that they're just able to tear apart pretty much anything without getting any shots taken on them. Now let's see if the Protoss player knows. He does not know of this base over here at the high yield. So the Zerg player, by no means is he out, but if he doesn't clean up his act and start to get some better, ooh, look at this, mass upgrades going on here. If he doesn't clean, and an infestation pit, this is what we need to see. If he doesn't get that unit composition up and up to par, basically. Infestors is one of those things that is basically going to even things up. Alternatively, Corruptors. However, much to the chagrin of many Zerg players, I'm actually going to advise against Corruptors because the Protoss player with Guardian Shield, and if he sees the Corruptors getting Stalkers, they get torn apart pretty quickly. But here we see the main battle going on. We got a couple Colossi over here with a ton of kills on them. 21-18 ridiculous kills, and more force fields going down. It looks like he's going to be able to clog up the Hydra force over here. All of them finally go down, though, and 25 kills and 26 kills, 50 kills across the 2 of these Colossus are basically going to end the little run that they had here with, 31 kills before going down. I believe 31 anyway. Managing to take out a crap ton of units. That is unit efficiency right there. And I wasn't even watching, but a couple of Colossi took out this base at the same time. Nice multitasking over here, making the Zerg player have to focus on 2 bases at the same time. And now the Zerg player is the one who's finding himself in a precarious situation as he's going up against some more. Oh no, but the Colossus are attacking the extractor of all things and not the roaches. It looked like the Zerg player was going to be in trouble, but now, if anything, the Protoss player might be in some trouble here. But nice micro, keeping, oh my god, this is, I can't even fit the whole battle on the screen. I want to zoom out more. But nicely done, microing away all of his Colossus, making them as effective as possible once again, cleaning up all of the Zerg units. Man, I got to check out this army count, and now we're seeing that the Protoss player is way ahead. However, it looks like he's about to lose a Colossus. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's going to lose both of them, actually. But still, once again, getting a lot